Do. We're sticking with the theme, pretty heavily with the theme on this one.
Mm. Mm.
A lot of people praise the intro of this song, the opening credits, and so we're talking about opening credit scenes. Usually musical. I guess they don't really have to have music behind them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I guess there's not really much else to it. It's opening title sequences. You want me to do some deep analysis, audience? No, Jared's gonna tell us his number five instead.
Yeah, my this was the hardest top five I think I've ever done. I have like five honorable mentions, and I didn't even include Cowboy Bebop in this one.
Oh
Um,
damn.
yeah, so I although I do love that opening sequence, I went with five that I think are equally like awesome and great just to me in general, and ones that I can keep going back to over and over again. The first of which being the Bob's Burgers opening theme by John Dylan Keith. I think it's a fun little song. It's got a dainty little guitar on it, or ukulele. I don't know what it is, mandolin. But I love not just the music, but the visuals too. Like it's kind of the same repeating thing over and over again of them of the Bob's Burgers grand opening getting screwed over and over again by fire or by pests. But what they change every time is the pun of the store name right next to the shop
Yep.
and the pun of the exterminator. And they do a different pun every single episode, and they're like over well over 100 episodes deep. But what I love about that thing is that it really captures the spirit of the show of like these guys are losers, but they're lovely and they're together. And I love the Belcher family for that.
Yeah, yeah. They if I wrote our honorable mentions down, they would probably be my number six on this list.
Hell
Um, but in the number five spot is a live action show.
yeah.
I felt like I had a lot of animation on my list, and so I threw some live action in here to spice it up a little bit.
Nice.
And that's Flight of the Conchords.
Ooh.
A very simple yet elegant one. It's just weird and goofy and like minimalist, and that's kind of what the show is. And
Yeah.
so it's just I don't know. It fits. The salt shakers shimmying around always puts a smile on my face, even if it's a little out there and strange. I just like it, and it's kind of nostalgic for me.
Nice, nice. Yeah, great show, great show. My number four is also a great show. It's a great comedy, also live action. It's the Office theme by Jay Ferguson. I like both the visuals and the song for this one because as soon as you hear the first like three notes, you know exactly what song it is.
And you
It's also
rush to
catchy.
skip it because it's real aggressive out of nowhere.
I love it. I love it, and it's instantly recognizable. It's catchy. You can
Yeah.
da 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 da. I love it. It's great. And I get to see all the beautiful faces of all these characters that I love. I get to see them just interacting around the office, and yeah, it's got a lot of sentiment attached to it because that show has been a part of my life since like fourth grade. So yeah, The Office.
Okay. Coming at number four, I've got my first animation on the list. One that I don't think, unless Jared has binged it recently, I'm not sure that you've seen. BoJack Horseman. Ooh, we
Nope.
talk about it too much. Yeah, it's great. Like we've kind of been hitting home. It sums up the character pretty well. Great song composed by Patrick Carney of the Black Keys and his uncle Ralph Carney. Um, it's just a still shot of BoJack in the center of the frame as he like gets blasted on drugs and alcohol, but he has just a straight face. He's like walking through parties or like on set of his like acting jobs, and it's just real trippy, very unique. There's not really any other out there, and you just see the apathy that he has for the life that he's made for himself. And it's cool. It's groovy.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Yep, still haven't seen BoJack Horseman. Still need to jump on
Wanna-
that
yeah, eventually.
eventually. My number three is I think it used to be available on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but it's One Punch Man season one opening. It's my first anime on the list.
Mhm.
It's the song. What plays is the song "Hero" by Jam Project, but you see a bunch of flashy imagery from the heroes and the villains that get introduced in season one.
Mhm.
You also get to see Saitama, the main character, punch a few things, being the One Punch Man. But what I love about this in particular is that the song is like really it captures the spirit of the show, because the spirit of the show is kind of about mocking bravado and mocking hero masculinity and mocking just the idea of superheroes in general, but then actually having legitimately cool superhero moments in the show. So
Mhm.
the song is like a really weird and funny Japanese screamo song. And then it actually kind of gets cool in the middle. Like you get your blood pumping, it gets it gets you excited, and gets and makes you want to, I don't know, bench press a freaking thing through the roof. It's great. I love it.
Nice. Obviously, have not seen it.
Yeah.
Jared hasn't made me into a weeb yet, so we're getting there. Um, Number three is one that you should have seen, and that everybody should have seen. It's definitely one of the bigger nostalgia kicks on this one.
Mm,
Back to animation, but childhood animation with
yeah.
Fairly Odd Parents. This shit's a banger, dude. It's its pace is insane. I love its big band energy.
Yeah, dude.
Cowboy Bebop actually kind of reminded me a bit of it. Not that there was any influence there
No.
whatsoever, but they're both big band jazz based, and so
Yeah.
they were similar for that reason alone. It's funny. You get introduced to all the characters, even Vicky saying "bad twerp."
Love
It's
it.
great. It's fantastic. It's a great song. They've since bastardized it, but the first 9 seasons, I think it is fantastic.
Hell yeah. I love Fairly Odd Parents. It's such a crazy show. Even
Yo,
just thinking about it, remind like I'm getting all these flashbacks of all the crazy stuff
Tammy
that I've
was
seen.
never kid. No one understands.
Oh, oh no.
Mm.
Um, yeah, my number two is quite a bummer. It doesn't really invite any nostalgia or joy
Mm.
or or just general happiness at life, because it's the opening to season one of True Detective. Uh, you get a lot of really awesome. It's the song "Far From Any Road" by the Hanson Family. It's a very moody, very melancholic, kind of backcountry tune. But what I really love about it is the kind of triple exposure effect that they do. They weren't the first to do this, but and they weren't the last. But I think it's one of the best uses of that technique. Of that CGI technique, there's this really great shot of Woody Harrelson's face, and the highways are coming up and like really framing the bones in his face, and it looks really cool in framing his expression. Um,
Mm.
a lot of it is about tying the environment to the characters and environment to the people, because that's kind of what the show is. That's a big part of what the show is about. Um, it's also just really like visually stunning. Like I never skip it when I watch True Detective. Um, uh, Even though there are only like what 8 episodes, I don't know, 6 episodes, I don't know, I forget. But yeah, True Detective season one is my number two.
Groovy. I
Yeah.
actually have still not seen that show,
Oh
despite hearing all positive things.
yeah, that's
Uh,
great.
My number two is a show that I think we actually talked shit on either last episode or the episode before. We definitely, I was making fun of it the other day. And that's Dexter. We're back to live action.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Say what you want about the show. The opening title sequence is fucking phenomenal.
yeah.
It's if you haven't seen it, it goes through. It's a show about a serial killer, and it goes through like mundane things that feel like somebody's getting murdered. It's like somebody's putting jelly onto toast, but it looks like blood on a knife, and then it cuts to the toast. It's just funny and it's creative, and they did an excellent job with it. And it's a shame that the whole show wasn't made with that much tender love and care.
Yep, yep. Um, yeah, I actually watched it in preparation for making this list because like I watched this
Yeah.
compilation of all these great anime, or not anime, but like great opening TV credit sequences.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, yeah, good choice, great choice.
Thank you, sir.
For my number one of the opening opening credit sequences of all time, it's an interesting. My number one took an interesting journey because it used to be, or when I first made the list, it was the Muppet Show, but then I realized like, oh wait, no credits actually play over this theme, so like I can't pick it. Um, and so I ended up just doing a tie between two that I love. One is for the other Shinichiro Watanabe show called Samurai Champloo. It's the song Battle Cry by Nujabes, but the visuals also highlight the differences and the individual characteristics of each of the three main characters while putting them together in and comparing and contrasting them, showing why they butt heads consistently along their journey and why they eventually come together. A lot of symbolism in there too. I won't get into that, but there was that, and then the other one was Phineas and Ferb. I love this
Ooh,
show a lot. It's I think the last great um,
yeah.
Disney Channel program. I haven't really seen a Disney Channel show since it ended that could that's as good as it. And the song "Today Is Going to Be a Great Day" is a great summation of the entire show. Which
Mhm.
I haven't seen the entire show, but I've seen enough episodes that like I think I know what I'm talking about, and I think I love this song a lot too. So yeah, um,
Nice.
nice.
Yeah. If New Jobbies is involved, I'm a fan already. For the first pick.
Yeah,
Um,
he
yeah.
became popular in America because of that show actually, because
Oh, really?
he pretty much did
That's
the whole
tight.
soundtrack. Yeah,
Talented man gone too soon.
true.
My number one, if people are fans of me and friends of me and family of me, this should really be no big surprise. Uh, it's The Simpsons. Really breaking new
Ooh.
ground on this one. A lot of hot takes coming in early.
I was like, he's definitely either gonna do The Simpsons or SpongeBob. Like,
Yeah. No, it's got to be The Simpsons.
yeah,
As much as I hate falling into the cliche, saying that they're the number one, they are. So so have that. Their couch gags are always fucking creative and often hilarious.
yeah.
I don't think I've been let down by a single one, even in the newer seasons. Say what you will about those. But after 706 episodes, you'd think that they would feel old by now. But they're always like worth watching. And
Yeah.
I think that's an incredible feat. Some highlights of mine were there's one that they turn into a flip book at the end. There's one where they turn into an MC Escher painting and they all come in from like the ceiling and walls and shit, and it's confusing and fun.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, every single one is a classic, and I love it, and I love the show. So number one, The Simpsons.
Yeah. One of the goats. One of the goats.
Hmm.
Do you still watch it weekly?
No, no,
Oh, okay.
I gave up a bit ago. I'll still go back and watch older episodes, but
Yeah.
my uncle, literally since it aired, has watched it live every single fucking week.
Damn. That's a lot.
And he actually, yeah, it's insane. And he like started with the comics, like that it was like that Matt Groening got his start at. Like he's
Jeez.
insane. He actually
Jeez.
recently got a Matt Groening signed photo of Bart that was like saying his name, and he got invited to a table read of an upcoming episode. And so I guess the fandom pays off.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, like honestly, mad respect for all the Simpsons fans that hung in there that long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. And there's people who know every single reference to every single thing. And like there's some hardcore Simpsons fans. I wish I was that insane about it, but I just don't have the mental capacity.
Yeah. Yeah. Um did you have any honorable mentions you wanted to throw out there?
Not off the top of my head. I do like the Community opening, but I just like everything about Community too. So that's
Yeah.
that's pretty much the reason. Fresh Prince was definitely up there as well. I think they have the best theme song, but as far as openings go, it doesn't quite make my list.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, probably just some of those.
Yeah. I got a few. I got Stranger Things I want to throw out
Mm,
there.
yeah.
Very, very beautiful. I got George Lopez on there. Low rider. I love it. It's great. Parks and Recreation, obviously, is a big one for me. Kim Possible is a great one for me.
Mm,
And I also threw in Freaks and Geeks because
uh,
yeah, very, very, very great show, and also like the top five encapsulates the spirit of the show in just a few seconds.
Yeah. I uh I kind of yoinked this from Listen to This. We did favorite TV theme songs.
Oh yeah.
And I had some hot takes on that. I claimed that Fairly Odd Parents had a better song than SpongeBob, which isn't that hot of a take, but it might
No,
piss
yeah,
people off.
yeah.
But the big hot take was that Zoe 101's theme song was better than Drake and Josh.
Ooh.
And I stand by that. I'm doubling down.